I was listening to your latest episode today, and I felt inspired to send my favourite top 5 sci-fi movies in. So here they are, in no particular order, and of course minus Star Wars and so on. The Matrix, the first Matrix movie I thought was one of the best films I've seen in years, mainly because the first time you ever see it, the whole world never quite seems the same again. You sort of start looking at the world in a different way. Aliens I think is the definitive of the Alien movies. It's just action-packed. It's James Cameron directed, who's always been one of my favourite directors, and it just has a wonderful script. All that get away from her, you bitch stuff. Terminator 2 is just another brilliant film, and it's James Cameron again. And Schwarzenegger's brilliant in it, and the effects at the time were just groundbreakingly good, and the plot is brilliant, and the action sequences and everything, really. E.T.'s just an old favourite of mine. It's probably the best film Spielberg's ever made. It's also, I'm prepared to admit, one of the few films that's capable of making me cry, especially near the end. And finally, particularly as you mentioned it, War Games. And War Games is one of my favourite films of all time. It's a brilliant film, War Games. Absolutely brilliant. There's very little you can say against it, and it's just one of the best comments on war that anyone has ever put on celluloid, really. So there you go. That's my top 5 for you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it made me cry too.
Yes, poor
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. E.T. from home. But if I was little and I saw an E.T., I'd scream, mate.
I know.
Okay.
I would not think that E.T. was cute, but back in the day when it was out, I thought E.T. was cute.
I do.
I even had an E.T. I had a little E.T. and
did you stick it in your basket on your bike?
I know, I didn't have a bike at that time. But I do like what he said about the Matrix film, how, like, after you see it, you really didn't see the world. You really didn't see the world in the same way.
Yeah,
and that's true about the Matrix film.
Makes you think about other realities and, you know, our own.
You know, what is this world, or are we hooked up to some tube and we're fake, or, you know, what are we?
At the end of the day, I don't care. It's what I feel and what I do now. Who cares if I'm in a matrix or in another dimension or whatever?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but it still makes you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think this is the same Tim. I think we're hanging out on Second Life. I think so. Because he said something about he's listened to the aliens and then he contacted me in Second Life. So, yeah, hi Tim.
Ah.
Nice to hear from you.
How's Second Life going anyway, Kat?
It is what it is. Nothing really changed in that much. Still fun for me. I still enjoy it. So I had a email that invited me back to City of Heroes for this weekend, so I might go and check that out again because I enjoyed it way more than World of Warcraft. And you said you haven't been gaming, so no WoW for you?
I've been flat out. Been watching